Hello everyone, welcome to Friday Sews, and I'm going to try and film in my garden today because it is so lovely. I will just say though, I've cheated a bit. I'm filming this on Wednesday. Tomorrow, Thursday, is my birthday and I will hopefully be out all day sat on a beach. And Friday we're off away to Centre Parks for the week. So I've cheated and I filmed this on Wednesday. I hope you don't mind. So it's a beautiful day. So I thought I'd have to try and film in the garden. But if it gets too nosy or next door's dog barks or a bus goes by or something, then I'll probably swap. Thank you to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for creating this hashtag Friday Sews. Don't forget to jump on board and watch everybody else and see what they've been up to this past week. And if you've ever thought of doing Friday Sews, give it a try. It's amazing. It's such a great community of sewing people. Yep, give it a go. Now, I'm wearing my Friday Sews t-shirt today, and this is what Jen gave me when I went to Florida, and I would just like to stand up and show you what else I'm wearing. I am actually wearing a pair of shorts today because it is warm enough for shorts. I'd just like to report that. These shorts I made about 3 years ago. They're on their last legs really. They were made out of a pair of linen, but they're my favourite shorts pattern, which is Quick Sew 3614, and I make the middle length, so it's that one there. But I am actually wearing shorts. The weather has cheered up, which is amazing because we are away next week and it'll help just that little bit if it is dry. Not necessarily warm, but as long as it's dry. I'm sure you probably all saw, but on Tuesday we released our collab video. That's the Fab Five, which is Andrea, Adam, Jen, Trish and myself. And we released our animal themed fabric. And I'm sure you've all seen the video, but it was so much fun. We're literally on our devices waiting for 7 o'clock to tick over because that's when we released it, to see what everybody else had made, because we had no idea. We all do so many different things. I think that's the great thing about the sewing community, is we do all sew different things. Even if it's the same pattern, it can be in a different fabric and look completely different. So what did I make? Well, if you hadn't seen it, I teased everyone by saying I just made 2 little boys t-shirts, but I also made one of Adam's hipster bags in this doggy fabric, and I made a water bottle carrier. Now this is my own kind of very rough pattern, but it does seem to work. What I might do is when I get back from holiday in the middle of June, I just might do a quick tutorial or give you an idea how you can make one as well. I think I said in the video I went all fancy and put clips on this one, but I don't normally. But those are the 2 things I made, and that was the video this week. I did manage to get around to making 2 pairs of trousers. Now, I was really short on time this week. We had guests from Friday through till Sunday evening, so that didn't give me much time at all to do anything that I wanted to do. But I got 2 quick pair of trousers done. If you remember, I had a grey bit of jersey, and what I wanted to do was make just a quick pair of joggers or kind of lounging round trousers to lounge around the place we're staying. It's a self-catering sort of villa thing. And I am so embarrassed to show you this, because I needed to make something very quick and I needed to know it was going to fit. I used the pyjama pattern. I'm so sorry, I have jogger patterns, but I needed to do it quickly, so I made them in this. Now I have to say, this isn't it doesn't look wonderfully pretty on me, but it'll do exactly what I wanted to do, and that's just a pair of easy trousers just to be on in the evening, just throw on in the evening. So I'm not going to walk around in them. They're not very attractive feminine fabric. And the pockets on the front look awful in this grey. And now you know I've made this many times, and I think it's always been in a patterned fabric, floral fabric, so I'm not bothered. But this time it just made it look quite manly, but they're exactly what I wanted, and I made them super quick, so I'm happy. The second pair of trousers I made, which I am very happy with, and again it was a really quick make, I used Simplicity 9121. Now I will say this time it was really funny actually. I was making them and then I looked down and I thought, I'm wearing a pair of these at the same time as making them, and I didn't even realise. But I will say I took in the width a bit in this fabric. This was the daisy fabric, and the reason I did that is because it looked a teeny little bit like pyjamas. So I did take them in on the sides. I added some back phone pockets, as I call them, but really quick sew. And the reason they're a quick sew because they've got that big wide pocket on, so you just fold it over underneath, and you've got it's just a quick way of doing a pocket, isn't it? So I did top stitch around there. I top stitched down the centre front, and that actually got me to thinking. Top stitching down the front seam is something I learnt to do when I was making all those scrubs back in the horrible year we don't talk about anymore, but just to reinforce the seam, and ever since then I've done it. I just saw someone else was doing it and I thought it's a brilliant idea. So yeah, I don't know if any of you do that, but it does it's an extra bit of security, isn't it, on a pair of trousers, so they don't split open. But no, I'm very happy with those. As I say, this was a daisy fabric I got from Hobbycraft, and it's not a chambray and it's not a denim, it's between the two. So a really nice lightweight pair of trousers, and as you can see I'm going to pair it with a white top. When my father was over at the weekend, when he comes over he always brings his sharpening block, and he sharpens all our carving knives for us. But this time I asked him if he could do my shears for me, my dressmaking shears, because they had a knock in them where I went through a pin, as we all do. So he managed to do those, which was brilliant, saved me a trip to the sewing shop. But also I handed him a chunk of these to do. And I said, is there any chance that you can sharpen these up? Because I get through these so quickly. I don't know about you, but he's managed to get a small file in between the little curves of the V's, and he sharpened these up for me as well. So I'm not so digging into the stitches like I used to do. I've been asked to do a wonderful thing. Now it's going to be quite a challenge, I think, but in October there's a family wedding. My daughter-in-law's sister is getting married. We are going as guests, and most probably to look after the baby that will be a couple of months by then. But my daughter-in-law asked me if I would kindly make a bridesmaid dress for the baby. What they want is just something, a little dress in the same colour as the bridesmaid, so she could be a little bridesmaid. And I know she's only going to be a 2-month-old baby, but I'm going to have the challenge of making a little outfit. Now I'm thrilled to be doing it actually. It's going to be something kind of simple. Hopefully I can get the same colour that the bridesmaids' outfits are in. It is, I think they're chiffon, and it's like a dark green. So hopefully I can get something similar, even if it's just an overskirt round coming from here or something. But I'm not going to start thinking about that now till I have all the holidays over with mid-June. But yeah, I was quite honoured, and that's going to be a fun little project because we have no idea how big she's going to be yet, or how big she'll be when she's a couple of months old. So that's going to be really good fun. So I hope you'll enjoy my journey making that. I have also been sewing this week in a secret project I'm doing with Jen from One Girl Creates. Hopefully I can get that finished soon, so when I come back we can do a reveal of what we've been up to. It's something that she challenged me to do, I think I've said before, but I had a lovely piece of fabric that I could use for it, so I'm looking forward to, I'm halfway through making that at the moment, so I can't wait to show you. I subscribe to Sew Direct, which is a website in the UK, which is the US version is simplicity.com, where all the new patterns come out for Simplicity. Well, we have Sew Direct, which is the same type of thing. Our pattern releases are a little behind yours. Anyway, it was my year anniversary, so I was allowed to choose a free pattern. So I had a look through. Now I've got enough patterns for myself, I don't need any more. But I came across this doll pattern. Now I don't know what you think, but I really liked it. It's this new Simplicity 9770. The reason I liked it is because the dolls haven't got creepy faces. Do you know what I mean? Some of them are a bit kind of horror movie sometimes, but they got simplistic faces. So you got, so what do they give you the pattern for? They give you the pattern for the basic doll. Just like to say, I've never made a doll before. Not that I can recall. I think I made a teddy once, but I'd love to give it a go. And then the different outfits. I think I'm really going to have fun making this, and if it works, if it looks okay, then at least it's a way of using all the scrap fabrics, isn't it? So I'm quite excited about that, to give that a go, because I've never done anything like that. And as I say, the faces are quite simplistic, so hopefully you can't go too wrong when you put the eyes and the mouth on. As I've said many times, we're actually away next week. Now I'm going to try and take my sewing machine with me for the evenings, because we've got the boys, so they'll be asleep quite early, and I don't know, I can't seem to find anything on television to watch anymore, and that's why I sew in the evenings. So I'm going to try and take my sewing machine, and what I didn't have chance to do this week was that faux jumpsuit I was going to make. I was going to use these two patterns, if you remember, kind of make cropped trousers and a top. Now I've been thinking, I'm still on the fence about this fabric, especially on me. I'm not sure, and I thought really I'd like something for my holiday that I'm confident that I'm going to use and wear. And yes, I think I would wear this, but then I thought back to the lovely Beyond the Pink Door fabric I received in the last box, and I thought actually I love this more. Why don't I make the two things out of this? Because I'm always going to take a white pair of trousers, and it'll go so much better with white and blue and navy, and those are the colours that I tend to take. So I think I'm going to make it out of this. Now what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to cut all the pieces out, and I'm going to overlock all the edges of all the pieces, because I'm only be able to take one machine with me. Please let me know if you've ever tried this. But if I overlock all the pieces first, then I'm going to just do normal seams, and then all my seams are done. They're all finished. So hopefully they should be quite a simple thing to do when I'm away, without 99% of my equipment, with just the sewing machine. They normally have an iron, so that'll be fine. I can do the pressing. But yeah, I think I'm going to make it out of this rather than the other stuff. We had an amazing weekend with all the family. It was my son's birthday on the Friday, and I gave him all those little bits that I'd made for him. He loved the t-shirt, thank goodness. And he wore it out for dinner, admittedly under a shirt, but the next day he wore it as well. So I was really pleased. A little bit tight on the sides, but that was because the fabric was really clingy. It's one of those viscose jerseys that just clings. But yeah, he was really pleased, so that was a win. And he loved the iPad stand, even though I did have to tell him what it was, and the notebook. Great, so that was a success. Yep, so we had all the family, and the weather was beautiful, and we played crazy golf, and yeah, it was a really good weekend. Obviously we're away this weekend and then the following week, so I'm hoping to try and get a Friday sews out next Friday, but I will be with the children in a villa with my daughter, so not sure how that's going to go. I'm going to take some knitting with me as well, so maybe if I haven't had time to sew that, I would show you my knitting instead. It'll definitely be a quick Friday sews if nothing else, so but I hope you don't mind. Thank you for joining me today. I hope the garden wasn't too noisy for you, just made a bit of a change. Thank you for joining me this week. I hope you didn't mind me being out in the garden with all the traffic noise and the dogs and the birds, but it just made a change, and British people like to make the most of the nice weather, believe me, when it happens. I'm going to leave you this week, not with the family photos from the weekend, but just an update on some garden flowers. We do have someone to help us do the garden because it's way out of our league. I did some gardening today, and it is my annual garden where I just put flowers in pots and then I keep my eye on them. So that's kind of my limit. But I thought I'd show you some of the flowers that we've got coming out and the ones just going over. So those are the little video of the garden, and then some photos at the end of the flowers I've literally just put in, hence I'm in the shorts. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to check out any of my other Friday sews if you think you've missed them, and of course everybody else's Friday sews. I will see you soon. Bye bye for now. So I thought I'd do some filming of the garden so far this year. We have these very interesting plants here. I need to look up what flowers those are, but there's a bee keeping happy on that. We have so many wild strawberries everywhere, all over our garden at the moment. Some lavender that hasn't come out at all yet. It's on its way. More wild strawberries. We've got an azalea that's just going over now, especially after a weekend with 3 dogs playing in the garden. Another azalea there, beginning to drop. A couple more. So they're all just beginning to turn over. We've got loads of these wild, and I think they're like an onion smell. They're very pretty, but they smell crazy like an onion, like a spring onion. This was a new little azalea I bought. That's been beautiful. These, no idea what these are, but they're pretty. One of my favourite flowers is down here, and it's Lily of the Valley, and they're just going over too, but I absolutely love these little flowers, and I have done since I was a little girl. Just so pretty. Got these interesting furry purpley things. More Lily of the Valleys just going over.